Hey, what is happening everybody? Welcome back to the Hybrid Network and another theory video tackling the world of Blade Runner 2049. So, by now I'm sure you're all caught up on what exactly a replicant is, namely being a synthetic genetically engineered humanoid created for various tasks, from military combat use to colonization of other planets. Eventually the process got to the point where the Nexus 6 models became the most advanced form, becoming almost virtually indistinguishable from a human being. But I'm here to ask a different question, one that may be a little more important than what it seems at first glance. Will we see artificial animals in Blade Runner 2049? Okay, so I know what you're thinking right off the bat. Of course we'll see fake animals, they were in the original movie! Why waste my time on this crap? Well, look, I only ask if only you can maybe shed some light on what exactly happened between 2019 and 2049. Maybe hint at the status of the world and the status of the people in it. Okay, for those of you not in the know, the whole replicant thing started through the process of electric animals within the book Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which basically came about after World War Terminus, where several species of animals had been rendered extinct or near endangered thanks to bouts of radiation. This in turn created a movement within the surviving human population of Earth, which had been thinned out somewhat by World War Terminus, in which actual real animals were priceless. Taking care of an animal is like a duty. I mean, they had to be preserved. It was up to humanity in its selfless nature to protect these animals from dying off. Unfortunately, the intention starts off well enough, you know, as most things do, but it slowly morphs into a form of social class separation. A type of elitism began to grow within those that could actually afford a real animal. I mean, look, you know, they're doing something good for the planet, and here you are only bothering to look after yourself. What kind of cretin are you that you can't even take in an animal under your roof? You get the idea, because essentially it became a way to sort of put down those that couldn't actually afford an animal, and the more complex of an animal you had, the higher you raised your social status. Or at the very least your presentation of a social status, because 9 times out of 10 you are not going to be able to afford that cow that's living in your crappy one-bedroom apartment. Okay, so electric animals are cheaper essentially, and they help maintain this facade that you own an animal, because at this point it doesn't matter about preserving the species. Owning an animal is more about social presentation. It's something to be shown off. And that's all fine and good, but how much of this plays into the film Blade Runner? Well, on the onset, not a whole lot. The movie doesn't actually go into the concept of animal husbandry as much. Deckard merely notes the existence of the fake owl when he sees it, and uses the snake scale as a means of finding Zora, but there's not a whole lot about their place within the social hierarchy of a downtrodden society. In all honesty, the animals in Blade Runner have their own symbolic nature, in a way kind of giving a representation of the way that replicants are viewed by the people of Earth, as essentially a piece of property as opposed to real individuals with their own hopes and dreams. It clashes a good bit with the endgame of the Nexus 6 models in the film, as well as some of the actions they take and the questions that we and Deckard are left to face. Where does the line blur when it comes to humanity? Are replicants no more than just products? Tools utilized by the public? Or are they more like us than we want to believe? Are they as lowly as the genetically modified animals, or are they much more than that? Growing and standing side by side with us, becoming our equal, and challenging our own perceptions of our own existential importance. Because in all honesty, they play a pretty interesting role in that regard, so it seems like it makes sense for animals to return in some capacity in the next film, if only to continue this trend of showing the different facets of humanity and replicants as they are compared to the synthetic animals they keep in their employ. They could even include the social hierarchy angle, though I doubt they'd bother including something like that this late in the game, but I mean, you never know. Things are always changing, and there's always stuff to pull from. But what do you guys think? Will we see synthetic animals return in Blade Runner 2049 to fulfill another symbolic purpose, or perhaps they're not really needed again to simply relay the same message from the first film? Let me know in the comments down below, and please make sure you stay subscribed to the Hybrid Network to stay all up to date on all of our videos as they come out. My name is Luke, and I'll catch you guys next time.